either one I or it's either one L or two L. I don't know what is LO LML. Hello, LML. Hi, everybody. Hi. How is it going? How is your day going? And how is the week going for you? I hope everything is going well on your end. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers and all the mothers that have to play both roles. And happy birthday to all the June babies, everybody that's born in June. I think it's still Gemini season, so happy birthday to all the Geminis. You guys are interesting sign. But yeah, I hope everybody's day is going well. I hope everybody's doing well. Welcome to the Faceless Siren Pod. How was your weekend? What did you do this weekend? If you didn't celebrate Father's Day, what did you do? Tell me all about it. Y'all, I need to figure out this gym life. I need to understand how all these calorie deficit things work because I'm trying to lose weight, but I don't know what else. Well, I don't know what I need to do to lose weight. I don't want to starve myself because obviously that's not healthy. And I wanna lose weight through working out. It's hard for me to do. I see like videos. I think it's called HIIT, and usually people post that and say to do that and be consistent, and that's how you lose weight. And a lot of it requires like jump ropes, jumping jacks, like a whole bunch of jumping on stuff. I'm not good at jumping, so cells. Like, what is it? Are we just comfortable with like trauma? Is that our comfort zone? Like, why are we, like, why does negativity sell? Like, the fact that a show like Bad Girls Club existed and a lot of us liked it. Like, when I was younger, yes, I was watching it, but I never understood why I was watching it. But at the same time, it's like I couldn't stay away from it. And I used to watch it. Then, like, I don't think they started out with like as much violent, but maybe they did. I didn't start watching. I don't think I started from season 1, but like as it went on, it just became more and more violent. And then that whole jumping, ganging up on one person, it's like every season all the girls come in and they think that's what they're supposed to do. I don't know if that's something they've done and that they do in real life, or producers make them do stuff like that. But that show became really, really bad. Like, you'll be one girl and the whole house is against her. They try to jump her, they destroy her stuff, and I'm just like, why am I watching this? Like, it was so bad, and I really had to stop watching it because I think in 2015 or 16, I don't remember, there's like a story that broke out. It was about a high school girl that got jumped, and unfortunately she didn't make it. And I was like, after that I watched the season. There was a season of Bad Girls Club that I watched, and I think that was the season Dream Doll was in it, but I'm not sure. But that season there was a girl there. She got treated so bad. It was like that, and whatever happened to the high school girl, I was just like I was wondering, like, are those girls watching these type of shows and that they thought it was okay to jump that student? And so I'm like, I don't want to be in support of something like that. I don't know if young girls are actually watching it and want to become that, and but I was just like, it was just a lot. I don't even understand the premise of the show. I don't know if they all come together because to see who's the baddest, or for them to have some type of growth and become more like, mature and not mean. But it was getting really, really bad. So once I stopped watching that, and it's like I was having like some type of like awareness. I don't know the right words at the moment, but it was, my mind was opening up. I started to wonder. I was like, what else do I watch that's like negative? And at that time I used to watch a lot of reality. I used to watch a lot of reality shows, and I used to be like on like the Shade Room. If you don't know what the Shade Room is, it's like a media outlet, I guess. And their content, I don't know, I haven't been on their page for years, but it's very, very toxic. That, and added to the reality shows I was watching, it was just, I felt like I was consuming a lot of negativity, and therefore I felt like I wasn't being productive with my life or with my time, and like there was no growth in me. I was just watching the shows. Like, I used to watch Love and Hip Hop, Basketball Wives, a lot of the Housewives, and then slowly but surely I started to just kind of veer away. Slowly but surely I just started to, like, have those thoughts. I just started thinking about the things I was consuming, and then once, it was like once I cut off videos and stuff like that. And mind you, I thought I would never be able to, not never, but I didn't think it would be that easy. But the more I sat and thought about it, and I was like, this is really negative. So once I cut out Bad Girls Club, then I cut out, I think, Black Ink Crew, because it was another incident. I think it was Black Ink Crew in New York, where they jumped a guy. Like anything that has to do with jumping or that level of violence, I'm like, okay, I can't be in support of this. I think the guy's name was Alex. I don't know if he's okay, but I don't know if it was a real fight or producers make them do it. But either way, that's still sending out the wrong message about how to resolve a conflict. And so I cut them off. And then Love and Hip Hop, I cut off all the franchise. Like, that's major, because I used to watch all the franchise, and I was able to just cut it, and I was like, and I never look back. I don't miss it. I don't feel like I'm missing out on anything. I don't feel like, oh my gosh, I need to watch. And then there was a point where I also cut off pretty much almost all of the housewives except Potomac and ATL. Like all the other housewives, I stopped watching it. Like I still needed my guilty pleasure. That's why I kept Potomac and ATL. And Married to Medicine, I stopped watching Married to Medicine as well. I blocked the Shade Room. Like I don't wanna see them on my page. And that's been years. Like I just became more selective of the things that I consume. I became more selective with like reality show. Like here and there, I'll still watch a reality show, but I know not to allow it to impact me negatively, because I feel like as soon as it is impacting me negatively, then I cut it off, or it's no longer enjoyable. Like recently I cut off Love is Blind. I cut off Love is Blind, and I cut off Married at First Sight. It was just, I feel like people just go there for the fame, and because they're not really being vetted, other people get hurt in the process. You know what I mean? And it's like the casting production team, I don't know if they care, because it seems like as long as they make money, again, negativity, drama, all of that sells. So as long as that's gonna make them money, they don't care about the people that are getting hurt in the process. Like I think Love is Blind, I watched Love is Blind Brazil before, and there was a girl that got stood up, like, and it was just so sad. It was she was the show with the right intention, because the show is called Love is Blind. You're supposed to fall in love with the inner beauty of that person, and mind you, they had a great connection, they had a lot in common, they had great chemistry, I guess, behind the wall. But once the reveal was done, I think she said he looked weird, and I just thought that was too mean, because it's like, if you sign up for a show like that, you know that you're supposed to fall in love for who that person is and not what they look like. And then my thing is, you have to look in the mirror before, you can say something mean about other people's looks. But that turned me off. Like, it just kept getting worse. Like, as the seasons go by, it was just getting worse and worse and worse. Like the last straw for me was the season with the guy that said he did like sperm donation, but come to find out the children were conceived naturally. So it's like, why would you go on TV and claim that you have no kids? Mind you, you have daddy issues, you didn't grow up with your dad, so why would you put your own kids in that position? Like, I just feel like the production team and everything like that, they don't do a good job of vetting these people. Like, they just get any and everybody to come on the show, and these people are coming on the show because they want to be on TV. They don't care how they're gonna look, they just want to be on TV. But yeah, so I had to cut that off. So I stopped watching Love is Blind. Same thing with Married at First Sight. I just felt like they were sent, like they weren't doing it for actual love. I feel like some people go there for the actual, like, to want to find somebody. And some people just want fame. And some people, like, they don't like the partners that are chosen for them. Mind you, they're giving a partner based off of what they say. Like, how do you tell the coaches that this is the type of person you want? They bring that to you and you mess it up. Like, it was just, so it started to feel like it wasn't genuine, it wasn't real, and things weren't done to protect people that are actually there to find love. I had to stop. I'm very, very, very selective, I'm very, very selective with the kind of reality TV I consume. I'm selective of things like my algorithm on social media, on Instagram. Like, I don't want just too much negativity. I do block accounts sometimes. I block a lot of accounts. Like, if you post fights, if you post stuff that are negative, like, no, I'm good, I'm okay. But anyways, that was the venting session. how Shelly and Ace know each other. They have met before out in the real world. They met before and they kept in touch. I don't think they got to date. I believe Shelly said like they live in two different states, so I never really went nowhere, but they've had conversations in the past. So that's that. But yeah, once they finish with the introduction, it's like they finish with the introduction. The guys talk about themselves and they talk about what they're looking for. And then once they're all done with that, it's time for the girls to choose, who they want to partner up with. And for them to make a choice, it's like they have to kiss two guys that they're attracted to. And then from the two guys that they kiss, they choose one to couple up with. Like the show, y'all. The show is not for everybody. If you're not into if you get grossed out easily, you shouldn't watch that show because it's nothing but swapping spit. Like how you gonna kiss somebody and then bring that spit? Like now I feel like I'm kissing two people because your saliva and the person that you just kissed saliva is still on you. Like I could never participate in a show like that because I would be like, look, I gotta go wash my mouth. I just can't be doing all the spit swapping. But that's how they get to choose who they want to couple up with. The first one to go up is Shelly, and Shelly chose to make out with Austin, and then she made out with Ace after that, and she chose Ace to be our couple. And the next person up, I want to say it was Huda, and Huda chose Ace and Jeremiah. So she made out with Jeremiah first, and then she made out with Ace. And she chose to couple up with Jeremiah. Like Jeremiah was just, I don't know if you've ever had a girl as pretty as Huda or what, but he was just, and he's like very quirky. He's very awkward and quirky. He's like, he said he was a nerd, or that he is a nerd, and you can kind of tell. He's like cute and quirky, but it's like, he was just like, yeah, I won, that's it. Like, he didn't want nobody else, so Huda chose him. And then the next person up, I want to believe it is Bella, and Bella chose Taylor and Nick. But Bella, she's like an innocent girl. She's a Christian, and she prides herself on like how she carries herself. Like she just doesn't be out there doing anything. She doesn't kiss on the first date. So she had so the guys that she chose, she just gave them her cheek, so they kissed her on the cheek. And she chose to couple up with Nick. And I want to say the next person was Alondria. The next person was Alondria. And Alondria chose Taylor and Nick. So she made out with Taylor and Nick. And honestly, the girl, she looks like she's a good kisser. Like, and then her and Nick, they just look like they have chemistry when they kiss. She chose to couple up with Taylor. And then the last girl was Yulissa. Yulissa chose Ace and Jeremiah. She made out with Ace. I think she made out with Ace first. And then just during the day. Everybody's just getting to know the new bombshells. They didn't really have challenge for that day. It was just a chill day for them. On episode 3 is when things starts to get a little bit more interesting. Y'all, on episode 3 they had I believe they had game night, they had to spice things up a little bit, and they were playing a game of it's called State Your Case. Basically, it's a game for all of them to get to know each other a little bit better. It's like they had their face in a suitcase and they have to put them in order. It's like from who did the most this to who would do the least. The first question was, who do you think cheated the most? Austin cheated the most. He cheated 6 times, yeah. Jeremiah said he cheated once, and Shelly, she cheated, but she didn't think, I guess it doesn't count because she cheated with a girl. By the way, Shelly is, I don't think she's bi because she said she didn't want to put a label, or whatever, but she dates both men and women. And honestly, good for her. Like she's not selfish with her beauty. She's sharing her beauty with both genders. And I'm gonna give her props. Share your beauty, girl. Don't just, don't be selfish and keeping it all to one gender. Share your beauty. But yeah, Shelly goes both ways. So she cheated, I guess, on her then boyfriend with a girl. And Nick cheating 6 times, thank you for being honest, because honestly I feel like some of the people weren't being honest. But yeah, 6 times is a lot, y'all. I don't know what happens to your consciousness. I don't know what kind of person you are if you can cheat 6 times. Cheating is stabbing somebody in the back and disrespecting them. I don't know how you can be okay with yourself doing that to people. And then the next question was the most people you slept with in one day. Austin slept with 4 people in one day, y'all. 4 people in one day. I'm trying to understand, was it a group activity, or were you just had the appointments, set up back to back to back? Because why are you swapping that much body fluid with 4 different people in one day? That's disgusting. Where is your self-respect? I just don't know. Nick had 2 people in one day. Shelly had 2 people in one day, but it was 2 girls that she was dating. She was in a throuple, I guess. She slept with one in the morning and with the other girlfriend at night. So, and people was like, that's not too bad. 2 girls, whatever. Huda slept with 2 guys in one day. She was just the first one didn't satisfy her, so she had to call back up. And I'm just imagine the other person on the receiving end. Imagine the other person thinking, they did the performance of their life just for somebody to be oh my gosh, I need a fixer because this wasn't it. Imagine thinking you're good at something and somebody was just yeah, no, this was bad. I need to go find somebody else to do the job that you couldn't do. So he has a lichen personality. Like he doesn't live life as a pretty boy. Like, you know, he doesn't exercise his pretty boy privileges like that. Ace never told anybody that he loved them, but then he lied because I guess he thought in relationships, but they were like, you just, any girl that you talk to, you never said you loved them, and then he just kind of like, oh, okay. So he has, but nobody knows how many because I guess he misunderstood the question. He's never been in a relationship, so I think that's why he misunderstood the question. And honestly, I don't think he's there for love. I don't know why he's there. I mean, for the fame. But it doesn't seem like he's there like to take it serious. I think he's just there to play the Love Island game. But it doesn't seem like he's wants to be in a relationship. But he never told anybody. Charlie, I don't think they showed his. Jeremiah told 10 people, I guess 10 girls he loved them. But he said he was young. He used to just be saying it because he thought, like, you know, that's what love is. And I guess that's understandable. I would have told 2 people. I don't think they showed for Alandria. Shelly, 2 people as well. Bella only said 1. And Bella has only been in 1 relationship. So it would be somebody that she was in a relationship with. And then the next question was, who sent the most nudes? Yeah, these people are crazy. Like, being young and dumb, I don't know, it gotta be fun. Like, you know, live your life. But yeah, it was like, who sent the most nudes? Ace sent 3. Taylor sent 5. Charlie claimed he never sent any, but he got caught up in the lie because they were like, you never. And then, you know, he did the little laugh like, oh, I didn't know, blah blah blah. Nick sent 800 nudes. Like, how can you even, like, how did you even know that you sent that much nudes? Like, do you keep count of it? He claims because he was in a long distance relationship, but 800 nudes is bonkers. Jeremiah sent 50 nudes. Like what? Like, why do y'all just be sending out pictures left and right out there? Like, and Austin, y'all, you have to sit down for this. You will not believe how many nudes Austin have sent. Please sit down for this because you're not going to be ready for this. The man is 27, by the way. Austin has sent thousands. There's an S at the end. Thousands of nudes. Sir, how do you have time to send that many nudes? And it's like, this is an ongoing thing because why is there an S at the end of 1,000? Like, are you just volunteering your naked body to people? Like, are you sending your nudes with consent, or are you traumatizing people with your nudes? Because I don't think people realize, like, unsolicited nudes is traumatizing. Like, it's disgusting. Like thousands of nudes, sir. I need to know, like, I need to know why you're traumatizing people with your nudes. Like, you just sending them out like that. Like, are you sending the same pictures, or every time you just going around taking new pictures and sending them? And again, I need to know if you're sending it with consent, because to send over 1,000, I don't know Alandria was just saying like, I see what's going on. We will talk about it later. You know, have girls' time. And Hooded took it as Alandria was being mean to her or checking her in front of people. And she started crying. And that was after the recoupling. And so her and Alandria had a conversation and they came to an understanding. But Huda claims to be like emotionally mature. It's hard to see it. Like, it's hard to see how she's emotionally mature, because I thought being emotionally mature comes with, like, you know, trying to, like, I thought it comes with understanding before reacting. You reacted to something so small and you just started crying. But yeah, so you know, everybody just kind of catch up with their couple, trying to understand what happened with at the recoupling. Shelly was surprised that Austin stood up. conversation, and people basically do not hold her accountable for anything. So the girls were like, no, it's okay, it's a challenge, he's still into you, blah blah blah. And then Hood is just like, I don't know if you know this about me, Sierra, but I consider you as one of her sisters now, and I'm a mom. Like, ma'am, why would you change the subject? Because people are making sense. Like, they're Ace chose Amaya. Shocker. Like, I don't think anybody saw that coming. Because Shelly's been in the house longer and Amaya just got there. And you were able to pick, and you picked her over Shelly. I was surprised by that move. But then I wonder if he's like, because he wanted to explore both of them, he knew maybe she would be saved. I don't know, but that was a surprise. Austin chose Shelly. Then it came to the last guy, which was Nick, and it was time for him to choose between Bella or Sierra. He ended up choosing Sierra, and it was sad. It was sad to see Bella be eliminated, just when she was becoming more comfortable, like when she was getting out of her comfort zone and seemed like she was having fun, like, and pushing herself to go through the process and have the full experience. But Bella gets eliminated. They say they get the crying out the way and they say their goodbyes. So the episode ends there, and then the next episode, episode 7, the cast is just, they had just finished saying bye to Bella, and they were just talking to their partners, winding down for the night. Charlie and Hannah talk, Nick and Sierra talk. Ace talked to Amaya that he was there like to explore Shelly and setting his boundaries about getting physical, kissing outside of challenges, and him being a slow burner. Amaya didn't like that very much. She felt like he was being a player because he didn't need to tell her that. She was like, I know this is the experience. I know this is not, this is how we're supposed to be. I'm not stupid, but I feel like you're being a player because why would you pick me? And then right after picking me, you're telling me all these things. So she started to get frustrated and emotional, and the conversation kinda ends right there. Yeah, so Maya walks away from that conversation and she goes talk to Huda and just venting to her about how she's feeling, and she was crying, and I felt so bad because she seems really, really sweet, and it's like, sir, I just got here and you saying all these things to me, then you should have never picked me, you know what I mean? I understand where both were coming from, so it wasn't fun to watch that. I felt bad for her. She seems like a sweet girl. And then Shelly and Austin have a conversation. She was, acknowledging him for picking her and his speech that he gave when he picked her. And they were just talking, having fun, just enjoying each other's company. And then while the girls were getting unready, while they were getting ready for bed, yeah, I feel so bad for Sierra. Alandria accidentally told Sierra that Nick and Bella were kissing the night before that, and Sierra didn't know, but Alandria didn't know that Sierra didn't know. It was an innocent mistake. But then that made Sierra be like, why would he keep something like that away from me? So everybody say their good nights, they go to bed the next day. Taylor is talking to Ace about just not having the physical attraction towards Alandria, and I'm like, that's crazy. Alandria is she's a beauty queen, so I don't know what that was about. And Ace was just basically reminding him you what that would look like. And with, like, Jeremiah eventually meeting Huda's daughter, and just, like, Huda being a mom, they were just talking about the outside world a lot, trying to, like, trying to see how that would look like. And then on the day, Jeremiah was just telling Huda, like, he wants to be able to talk to the guys about it because he wants to get a guy's perspective regarding Huda having a daughter, having a child, because he's never dated or talked to anybody that has a child. So Huda told him, like, hey, I'll let Nick know, so that way you'll have somebody to talk to it about it. And then back in the villa, Austin tells Charlie that he kissed Amaya but to keep it a secret. And I was like, that's suspicious. Why are you keeping it a secret, And who are you keeping it a secret from, Shelly? Like, I didn't understand that part, that it had to be kept a secret, because Shelly is very open with Austin, and she tells him, like, she just communicates with him and she keeps it real with him. So I thought he would reciprocate that. as she was explaining that, she's like, babe, again, and then she was just like, no, you see what I mean? This is just how I talk. I don't mean to do it on purpose. That's just a part of the way I talk. And then he was just like, yeah, he doesn't want to be called that because, they're not serious or anything like that. And then she was just like, she was just becoming more and more frustrated because she was like trying to explain herself, but she feels like he wasn't understanding her, and maybe he wasn't. And she was just like, yeah, like, don't piss me off. Like, she just started becoming emotional. And she was like, so what do you want? Like, basically what are you trying to get at? And he's like, I'm just letting you know, like, we can be cool, we can be friends. And she was like, yeah, I'm not gonna, like, chase a man. I'm not gonna do this. I'm like, I know my worth and all that. But the conversation it kind of just ends like that. I don't think they got into a resolution. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. If you're watching Love Island, I hope you're enjoying it. Like, let me know so far, what do you think of the season and who's your favorite? I feel like it's hard to have a favorite because they all have different personalities and all their personalities work together. But if you are watching it, let me know if you're enjoying the season so far. But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. I hope you have an amazing day. I hope you have an amazing week. And if you're not, stay positive and know that, it will get better. Please don't forget to like, comment, share, and subscribe.